Welcome to Pastor Andrew's Inspirations. Today we will talk about the biblical name of Abigail. Abigail was the wife of Nabal. She became a wife of the future King David after Nabal's death in 1 Samuel chapter 25. Abigail was David's second wife after Saul's daughter, Michal, whom Saul later married to Palti, son of Laish, when David went into hiding, and Ahinoam. She became the mother of one of David's sons, who is listed in the book of Chronicles under the name Daniel, or Daniel. In the Masoretic text of the books of Samuel as Chileab, and in the Septuagint text of 2 Samuel chapter 3 verse 3 as Daluia. Her name is spelled Abigail, A-B-I-G-A-L, or as we spell it, A-B-I-G-A-I-L, in 2 Samuel chapter 17 verse 25, in the American Standard Version. Derived from the Hebrew word ab, father, and the Hebrew root gil, to rejoice. The name Abigail has a variety of possible meanings, including my father's joy and source of joy. In 1 Samuel chapter 25, Nabal demonstrates ingratitude towards David, the son of Jesse, and the tribe of Judah, and Abigail attempts to placate David in order to stop the future king from taking revenge. She gives him food and speaks to him, urging him not to have on his conscience the staggering burden of needless bloodshed, verse 31, and reminding him that God will make him a lasting dynasty, in verse 28. John Levinson calls this an undeniable adumbration of Nathan's prophecy in 2 Samuel chapter 7. Alice Bach notes that Abigail pronounces a crucial prophecy, and the Talmud regards her as one of the Tanakh's 7 female prophets. Levinson, however, suggests that she senses the drift of history from intelligence rather than from special revelation. After Abigail reveals to Nabal what she has done, God struck Nabal and he died. Verse 38, after which David married her. Abigail is described as intelligent and beautiful. The Talmud amplifies this idea, mentioning her as being one of the 4 women of the surpassing beauty in the world, the other 3 being Rahab, Sarah, and Esther. As the wife of the wealthy Nabal, she is also a woman of high socioeconomic status. Whether David married her because he was attracted to her, or as in an astute political move, or both, is unclear. Abigail and David's second wife, Ahinoam, the Jezreelite, accompany David and his war band as they seek refuge in Philistine territory. While David and his men were encamped near Jezreel, they are captured by Amalekites who raided the town of Ziklag and carried off the women and children. David led the pursuit, and they were subsequently rescued. Both wives then settle with David in Hebron, where Abigail gives birth to David's second son, Chileab, or Daniel. Abigail is also listed as one of the 7 Jewish women prophets, the other 6 being Miriam, Deborah, Hannah, Sarah, Huldah, and Esther. In terms of her moral character, Abraham Kippur argues that Abigail's conduct indicates a most appealing character and unwavering faith. But Alice Bach regards her as subversive. Adele Berlin contrasts the story of Abigail with that of Bathsheba. In one, the wife prevents David from murdering her foolish and greedy husband. In the second, David orders the murder of a good man because he desires his wife. In the Abigail story, David, the potential king, is seen as increasingly strong and virtuous, whereas the Bathsheba story, the reigning monarch shows his flaws ever more overtly and begins to lose control of his family. Levinson and Halpern suggest that Abigail may in fact also be the same person as Abigail, mother of Amasa. Richard M. Davidson, however, points out that on the basis of the final form of Old Testament canon, references to Abigail in the biblical accounts indicate two different individuals. Abigail's self-styling as a handmaid led to Abigail being a traditional term for a waiting woman, for example, as the waiting gentlewoman in Beaumont and Fletcher's The Scornful Lady, published in 1616. Jonathan Swift and Henry Fielding use Abigail in the generic sense, as does Charlotte Bronte. Anthony Trollope makes two references to the Abigail, all lowercase, in the Eustace Diamonds at the beginning of chapter 42, whilst Thomas Mann makes the same reference at the start of the second chapter of part 2 in Buddenbrooks, published in 1901. William Rose Bennett notes the notoriety of Abigail Hill, better known as Mrs. Masham, a lady-in-waiting to Queen Anne. George MacDonald Fraser makes mention of an Abigail fussing about the room in his novel Flashman for the Flashman paper series. Abigail is a featured figure on Judy Chicago's installation piece, The Dinner Party, being represented in one of the 999 tiles of the heritage floor. This is the biblical name of Abigail. May God's blessings be upon us all.